Hello guys, in this video we are going to solve a past paper May 2026 paper 1 and time zone 2. Let's look at the questions. Okay, first question, it's about arc length and sector, right? About these ones, area of a sector, area of arc length, etc. And we have a windscreen cleared by a rubber blade, as we see here. This angle is given, right? This angle is given. Okay. Calculate the length of the arc made by B at the end of the rubber blade. So guys, they are trying to ask you length of an arc, which is this one, made by B, right? So basically it's this arc length is asked, okay? So what is the arc length formula? Let me solve it here. Arc length formula, L, let's say, arc length equals to theta over 360, right, times total circumference of the circle, right? So our angle is 140, 360 times 2 pi r. So what is r? R is the total, this one, radius, total radius, right? Because we're gonna find this r. We're gonna find this arc length. Okay, so r is 56. And you can use this for, you can calculate by calculator. How do we calculate it, guys? Let me show you. Go to calculate, right? So 140 control divided 360, right? Okay, times 2 pi, pi is here, times 56, and control enter. 136.83. So if you want to write in three significant figures, we're gonna write this one, right? So it's gonna be equals to 133, right? And that's the thing. 136.8. Three significant figures. Okay. Determine the area of the windscreen that is cleared by the rubber blade. What they ask? They are asking the area of this white region, right? White region. Sector of the white region. So how we can find that area? This sector, area of this sector minus area of this sector, right? Imagine, guys, like that. If we subtract this one, we're gonna find this white area, right? So let's find the total, let's find the big area, let's find this area. Big area minus small area, sector I mean. So what is the big area? What is the formula for this one? Area of a sector, theta over 360 times pi r square, right? This is general formula. So let's calculate it. What is the big area? And our angle is 140 over 360, right? Times pi times r squared. R is 56, right? 56 squared minus, now we're gonna subtract this small area here, right? So This is 56. This is 46. So 10 left, right? This is 10. So R is 10 here. The same formula. Our angle is 140 over 360 times pi times 10 squared. And this is going to be equal to, you can do it by calculator. And it's going to be, let me look at it here. 140, let me write it here. 40 divided by 360 times pi times 56 square minus same control division 360, okay, times pi times 10 squared, control enter. So 3709, right? So this is the case, 3709. Let's go to basic area. 0.17 in 2 decimal place. You can write the full answer, it doesn't matter. Okay, you will not lose points from it. That's the first question. This is the second question, and it's the question of probability, topic of probability. A group of 130 applicants applied an admission into their arts program or the sciences program at the university. Okay. The outcome of their applications are shown in the following table. So this is arts program applied, and 17 accepted, 24 rejected, and science is the same, right? Accepted and rejected. Find the probability that a randomly chosen applicant from this group was accepted by the university. Okay, guys. What is the probability? How many people we have in total? 130, right? So out of this 130, what we want exactly, it's given here, accepted by the university. So accepted group is this one, right? 17 plus 25, which is 42. And this is our answer for the first one, right? Let's look at part B. An applicant is chosen at random from this group. Okay. Let me remove this one. It's found that they were accepted into the program of their choice. So they are accepted, right? Accepted. So we're gonna choose something from this group. This is given. This is called conditional probability. Okay? Conditional probability. So find the probability that an applicant is applied for the arts program. Okay, what is our total? How many people we are choosing? We are only looking at this group, right? Because it's given that here. So the total is 42. How many people we are looking for? Applied for the arts program, right? So from this group, art program is 17. Let's look at part C. 2 different applicants are chosen at random from this original group. From the original group, okay. Find the probability that both applicants applied to the arts program. Okay, what is the first people? Let's look at the first people. What is the probability of first people applying arts program, right? Apply for the arts program. Arts program, how many people in applied total, right? This plus this, which is 41 out of 130 times. Then the second is how many people left, right? How many people left? 129, because one of them is gone. Okay. And again, arch program. So this is gone. One people is gone. So we have how many people left? 40 people left. And that's the case. Okay. So if you multiply them by calculator, you're going to find it is 0.0978. So this is the second question. Question number 3 is about topic of trigonometry. So we're gonna use trigonometric identities. Okay. So let's look at the thing here. The owner of the convenience store installs 2 security cameras represented by C1 and C2. Also, these are cameras. Both cameras point towards the center. Okay, I can see that. Store card register represented by the point R. Okay, point R is here. Following diagram shows this information on cross-section store. Okay. The cameras are positioned at the height of 3.1. Yes. They both the same height, right? And this is 1 meter. This is 6.4 meter. Okay. Anything else? This is 2.8 meters given here. Determine the angle of depression from camera 1 to the center of the car register. Okay, first of all, what is angle of depression and what is angle of elevation? Let's say we have horizontal line. When you feel depressed, your mood is going down, right? Your mood is going down. So this is angle of depression. And elevator takes you to the higher things, higher floors, right? So this is angle of elevation from the pointer perspective, right? Point of view. Okay, for example, angle of depression from camera 1 to the car register. So this is our line, right? Angle of depression is this angle. Let me sketch it. They have the same height. And angle of depression, let's say alpha. I'm gonna find alpha, right? That's the case. Okay, so I want to create a right angle triangle here because I can use only trigonometric identities with right angle triangle. So I'm gonna create a right angle here. Okay, so I know this one, and I know this is 1, and I know this total. So this is 3.1 total. This is 1, right? So what is left to here? It is 2.1 meters, right? 2.1 meters. Okay. Now, which angle I can use? Sine, tangent, or cosine? So I have alpha here. I know the opposite, and I know the hypotenuse. Opposite over hypotenuse is sine, right? So I know sine alpha equals to 2 point this over this, right? 2.1 over 2.8. How can I find alpha? I need to use inverse function in calculator and swap these values here, and it's gonna be inverse function, right? Sine inverse 2.1 over 2.8 equals to alpha. And how you can find this one, guys? By our calculator. Let me show you. You need to go to calculate, and you see there's a trig button here. Trig, sine inverse 2.1 divided by 2.8, and close the brackets. And okay, our calculation is in radian mode. Okay, so it's gonna give us a radian. So therefore, let's go and change it here, change it to degree, then click enter. 48 point. Why we change it to degree? Because we're gonna find a degree, right? We're gonna find an angle. Okay, so 48.6, right, in 3 significant figures. This is 9. 48.6. So alpha equals to 48.6. Okay, let's move on. Calculate the distance from camera 2 to the center of the cash register. So distance from camera 2, which is C2, to here, direct distance, right? How can I find here, guys? Okay. So this is, let's say, this is X, right? Let me show with blue, different color. Let's say this length is X. I want to find X. Okay, so as you see, there's a right angle triangle here, so I can apply Pythagoras theorem, right? But I should know this part, right? How can I know this part? So I know the total here, but I don't know here, but I can find here, right? So if I find this part and subtract it from 6.4, I can find this part, right? So therefore, to find this part, what I can do, that I can apply Pythagoras theorem. Let me say this is y. What is Pythagoras theorem? Pythagoras theorem says this squared plus this squared equals to this squared, right? So y squared plus 2.1 squared equals to 2.8 squared, right? This is Pythagoras theorem. I don't want to lose time by solving it. I will just calculate it by numerical solve, okay? So go to menu, algebra, numerical solve, and y squared plus, right, 2.1 squared equals to 2.8 squared. 8 squared. So then comma, right, comma y. This is how numerical solve works, right? We have, of course, we will have two answers, but we're gonna use the positive one, right? Because distance is always positive. Okay. 1.85, it says, right? 1.85 meters. So y equals to, okay, so this part equals to 1.85. So what is this part then? 6.4 minus 1.85, right? 6.4 minus 8.45. 1.85, sorry. 1.85. 4.55. Okay. 4.55 is this part. Okay, then again one more Pythagoras theorem, right? 2.1 squared, this plus 4.55 squared equals to x squared, right? So let's write down that on the calculator, right? Menu, algebra, and numerical solve, and 4.55 squared, 4.55 squared plus 2.1 squared equals to x squared, comma x. 5.01, right? In three significant figures. So our answer is 5.01. Okay. 5.01 meters. X equals to 0.1 meters. So this is for part B, guys, right? Let me show it here. Okay. Without further calculation, so we are not going to do calculation. Determine which camera has largest angle of depression to the center of the card register. Justify your response. So they are asking to compare this and this, right? From cameras to register. Okay. Angle of depression. So this is the same, right? This is the same. Which angle is bigger, guys? Since it's closer to the thing, closer to the center, this thing, right? Because this is 1.85, this is 4.55. Which angle? If you are closer, your angle is will be bigger and bigger, right? So this angle, of course, bigger than this angle. So C1 is bigger than C2 because it's closer. C2 because it is closer to the cache center, right? What was it? Cache center, let's say. That's the question number 3. Okay, guys. Question number 4 is about functions. It's a classic IB question. You will be given a function and you are asked to find values, right? That's the classic IB question. Okay, let's look at it. pH of a solution measures acidity and can be determined using a formula. Okay, this is our formula. What is C? C is the concentration and pH is pH, right? Okay. Information is here, important information here. A lower pH indicates a more acidic solution. Okay, if the pH is low, it means more acidic. We're gonna use this information later on. The concentration of a hydrogen ions, particularly type of coffee, is this much. So this is what, guys? Concentration is given, right? Calculate pH of the coffee. So it's easy, right? So pH equals to minus log 10C. So instead of C, you're gonna replace by this number, right? You're gonna substitute this number here, and that's it. pH equals to minus log 10 1.3 10 to the power of minus 5, and it equals 2. So putting a calculator and let's move on, right? So go to calculate, minus log, control log, not answer. Okay, click delete here. No. So what you need to do, just write log, control log 10 1.3 times 10 to the power of minus 5, but this is a negative, right? So I write the negative at the end. And am I correct? Yes. So 488 is our answer. 489 actually, right? 489 into significant figures. So this is part A. Part B. A different unknown liquid has 10 times the concentration of the hydronium ions of the coffee. In part A, determine whether the unknown liquid is more or less acidic than coffee. Justify your answers. So 10, so we're gonna multiply this C by 10, right? So this is the new pH. Minus log 1.3 times 10 to the power of minus 5 times 10 to the power of 1. So what it will be, guys? If you multiply them, you're gonna add them up, right? So if we add them up, it's gonna be minus 4, 10 to the power of minus 4. And if we calculate this one, let's calculate it by calculator. So log 10, there is a minus at the beginning, 1.3 times 10 to the power of minus 4, and control enter, 388, 389, 3.89, 3.89. Let's go to our question again. So what happens? This is less, let me see, we're going to use a lower pH indicates more acidic, so this is lower pH. Since 3.89 smaller than 4.89, it is more acidic, right? Unknown liquid is more acidic. And that's the question number 4. Question number 5. A polygraph test is used to determine whether people are telling the truth or not, but it's not completely accurate. Okay. When a person tells the truth, they have 20 chance of failing the test. So 20% fail and 80% pass. Let's see what they're gonna ask. Test outcome, is it independent? Okay, and previous test outcome. 10 people take the polygraph test and 10 tell the truth. All of them tell the truth. Calculate the expected number of people who will pass the polygraph test. How we calculate expected number of something? We multiply number of people, then probability of it, right? How many people we have? 10. What they ask? Who will pass the test? Pass, right? So passing is 0.8, right? 80%, 0.80, and it's gonna be 8. This is how we calculate expected EX, expected number of people. Calculate the probability that exactly 4 people will fail in this test. Okay. So we have number of trials and we have probability of success. Which topic is that? Number of trials. What kind of distribution? It is called binomial distribution. Because we have 2 options, either fail or pass, right? 2 outcomes. This is called binomial distribution. Binomial distribution we show like that, number of trials and probability of success. And if they say exactly one value, we're gonna use in calculator binomial PDF. If we are given a range more than 2, more than 5, less than 3, something like that, we're gonna use binomial CDF. That's all. Calculate the probability of exact 4 people will fail in this test. So fail, right? Fail. So how many people we have? Total N is 10 people. What is the probability of failing? 0.2, 20%, right? 0.20. Failing. Exactly 4 people. What is our X value? How many people will fail? 4. So we're gonna use our calculator right now, right? How we can use it? So guys, go to calculate button here, right? Then menu, this is the topic of probability and its distributions, and it's binomial PDF. Why? Because we have exactly one value. Number of trials 10. Probability of success is probability of failing 0.2, 0.20. I couldn't write it. X value exactly 4 people, right? exactly 4 people. Okay, then okay. What happens here? Tick tick. Okay, just 4. Can we go up? Yeah, 4 and okay. So 0.88. 0.08808. Sometimes you can write full answer, but if you write in 3 significant figures, you can just write 0.88. 0.088. Let's move on with the part B. So this was part B. Let's move on with the part C. Determine the probability that fewer than 7 people will pass. Fewer than 7 people. Imagine we have 10 people, right? You should know one thing here, guys. Let me show them. In the question, it says fewer than 7 people. You should know one thing. In binomial distribution, our variables are discrete. Imagine we have 10 people, right? 1. You can start from 0, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, up to 10. And 7 is somewhere here. And we don't have nothing in between, right? These are discrete variables. And fewer than 7 people means a maximum 6 people. Like fewer than 7 people means, so up to, we don't include 7, right? We include up to 6. Okay, because we don't have, like, this is, let me show like that. These are discrete variables, right? There is nothing in between. So this is what we want. The easy way of doing that is finding 7 and more, this area, then subtract it from 1, because the total probability of something is always 1, right? So 1 minus this part is our answer. Or you can use the other way, like maximum value 6, for example. So number of trials, 10 people, right? I'm gonna find this red area, red part, 7, 8, and 8, 9, 10. 8, 9, 10. And I'm gonna find this one, and I will subtract it from 1. So lower bound equals to 7. So guys, we need to do, this is a range, right? So we need to do binomial. What we do when we have range? CDF in our calculator. Lower bound 7, upper bound, it can be most 10 people. Probability, which probability we will use? Pass, right? What is the probability for pass? 0.8, 80, right? 80%. Okay. So let's find it, and we will 1 minus our answer, and it will give us the correct answer of this area, right? Okay, let's do it. Let's bring our calculator. Menu, probability, distributions, binomial, CDF is down here. 10 trials, probability of success 0.80, lower bound 7, upper bound 10, because we have at most 10 people, right? So this is the case. So, but this is more than 7, right? 7 and more, so we will find the other one. So 1 minus, let me show you here. If I do 1 minus our answer, which is, let me copy it here, 0 0.87912 which will be, if you do this one, so 1 minus, you can write ANS, answer stands for answer, right? 1.0 point in 3 significant figures, right? So this is our final answer, but this gives us the other area, right? Do we have more questions here? No, this is the end of question number 5. Question number 6, it's about integrals and area under curves. Okay, let's look at the question. We are given we have a line. This is a line equation, which is this one, and we have another parabola, which is this one, right? We are given intersection points of them. This area is shaded under the curve, under the line, right? Calculate the area of the shaded region in diagram 1. So basically, how do you calculate the area under a curve, guys? This is a topic of integration, right? Integral. Because integral gives you area under a curve. Let's say you have this area from 1 to 5. This is your function fx. So this area under curve is calculated by definite integral, and it's just a calculator work 1 to 5. You just need to write the limits, then your function dx, and the answer will give you this area. So let's write it down. What is our limits? X limits, right? X limits -1 to 2. Which function we need to use? We need to use this function, right? Because this is the area under this line. So 6 minus x dx. That's all. Or you can find the area of this trapezoid by trapezoid area rule, right? Okay, let's calculate this thing with calculator. Equals to definite integral. Where is it, guys? Okay, let me show you. You need to click this button, right? And you're gonna see the integral here with the limits you see here, right? Okay, from -1 to 2. Okay, here is our integral. From -1 to 2, 6 minus x dx. Control enter, 16.5. 16.5 is our area. Then this was part A. Sorry, I just need to delete this part. Okay, my solutions. Sorry, guys. Okay, let's look at part B. Write down the integral for the area of the shaded region diagram 2, BI. So this is this area under this curve. So that's the case from -1 to 2. What is our curve? 1.5 x squared, 2.5x plus 3. We just write it down. This is our answer. Calculate the area of this thing. You just need to do it by calculator. The answer of this one, right? Okay. Let's do it by calculator. From this button here, and this is definite integral -1 to 2 1.5 x squared. Let's do it. Minus 2.5 x plus 3 and dx. I'm always doing control enter to see it like a decimal. 9.75 is our answer. Part C, 9.75. You can just write it here, right? Hence, determine the area enclosed between this line and this curve. Which means enclosed by means which area is that? This area. So how can I find this purple area? Basically, this area minus this area, right? So the first area that we found was the answer of part A, which is 16.5 minus the area under curve, the shaded region for now, this part, which is we found in part BII, which is 9.75, and it will be 16.5 minus 9.75. 6.75 will be our answer. That's all about question number 6. Question number 7 is the topic of statistics and about interquartile range, mean, median, etc. Okay, this topic of statistics. Okay, Ran's mathematics course in the morning scores. The classes are shown below. These are the math scores, right? For this data, lower quartile is 62. What is lower quartile? Q1. Upper quartile is 88. Q3, 88. Show that the test score, this one, 25, would not be, okay, considered as the outlier. What we need to do? What is the formula for this one? In part A, let me solve it here, or maybe here is better, right? Outlier formula. It's not given in the formula booklet, okay? You should memorize it. So this is a small value or big value. This is 25 compared to small value here. So we need to do Q1 minus 1.5 times interquartile range. If you don't know this topic, please go and revise it, right? If it's smaller than this one, it's outlier. So let's calculate this value. What is Q1? 62 minus 1.5 times interquartile range is Q3 minus Q1, which is 6 to 26, I believe, right? Yes. So let's find it out. 62. 1 second. If I subtract it from here, 2, 6, and 2, 26. And this value, if you do it by calculator, it will be equals to 23. So this is our lowest limit. If our value is smaller than this, is outlier. Since 25 is bigger than 23, it is not an outlier. But what would be an outlier? For example, 21 would be an outlier because it's smaller than the lowest boundary. Okay, that's the case. The box whisker diagram shows these given below. Okay. Another mathematical class. So we have, this is our first class, and we have another mathematical class, evening class. So this is morning, this is evening class. Okay. It's given a researcher reviews the box whisker diagram and believes that the evening class performed better than the morning class. Performed better than the morning class. Okay. With the reference of the box whisker diagram, state one aspect of it may support of the researcher and one counter it. So let's write it down. Support guys, let's look at some values here. Quartile 1. So, but what I see, the median of this one is higher, so this can support his claim, right? So median of the evening class is higher. Counter of it, just try to find something small. For example, so you see guys, for example, Q1 is smaller than this one, right? Or minimum value is smaller than this one. So you can use either Q1 or smaller value. So minimum value of the evening class smaller than mean value of the evening class is smaller than morning class. That's the counter example. Any other questions here? No. Number 7, it was about this. So if you don't know this thing, please go and revise it. Question number 8 is about hypothesis testing. A study was conducted to investigate whether the mean reaction time of drivers who are talking on mobile phones is the same as the mean reaction time of the drivers who are talking to passengers in a vehicle. Okay. So is the same as. They are not saying more than or less, right? 2 independent groups were randomly selected. Okay. The data is given, so this is their reaction time as far as I understand. At 10% significant level. So when we compare two groups, two samples, of course we're gonna use t-test because t-test is used to compare two groups, two samples, right? And mean reaction time of this one, okay. Each data is assumed normal distributed. It should be normal distribution all the time. We need to assume this one, and we need to assume population variances are the same, because these are two assumptions for t-test. Otherwise, we cannot apply t-test. Okay. T-test has two assumptions, and first one is this one, and second one, population variance are the same. And it's already given there, by the way. So let mu1 and mu2 is the population means of the two groups. Their population means, not the sample. The null hypothesis for this data will be this minus this equals to 0. Basically, when we are doing t-test, we always assume this group is the same as this group. This group mean, the population mean of this group, this sample, is the same as population mean of this sample, right? We always do that. This is H0, which is a default position. In the t-test, always two groups, their mean, population mean is the same, which means also mu1 equals to mu2. What's the other way of writing it? Mu1 minus mu2 equals to 0, which is given here, right? Alternative hypothesis, they are not equal, because in the question they say is the same as or not, right? It does not say first group bigger than second group. If they say this one, our alternative hypothesis will be mu1 bigger than mu2. It will be one-tailed test, but here we are just wondering they are equal or not. So our alternative hypothesis will be they are not equal, right? So basically our alternative hypothesis will be mu1 does not equal to mu2. In other words, let's write in their format, right? Mu1 minus mu2, I send it this one to the other side, does not equal to 0. That's the case. This is our alternative hypothesis, H1. Okay. Calculate the p-value for this test. How do we do t-test, guys? We just need to do go to Sheets and enter this data and test, right? So let's go to Sheets. I want to close the other pages before. Always don't forget right here X and Y. I'm just writing X or Y. Okay, let me enter this data here quickly. 0.69. Okay, 0.878. 90. So this is our first data. So what did I do, guys? I just entered this first group. I just entered this first group. Now let's enter the second group. Okay, let's do it. Our calculator. Let's go here and top. Okay, 0.67, 0. Okay, this is our reaction times. Then we go to the top, then go to menu, then statistics. We're gonna do a start test, and this is t-test, but we have two samples, right? Because we have X and Y. We have data. Why? Because we entered data already. If you don't have data, if you are given the mean of them, standard deviation of two groups, you need to go to statistics, right? So data, list 1 X, list 2 Y. What is alternative hypothesis? They are not equal, right? Pooled on all the time in IB, okay? Pooled yes in all the time of IB standard level course. And this is our p-value, 0.77, right? 0.0778. p-value is 0.0778. Okay, what it means, let's move on with part C. So this is C1, CI, sorry. Calculate, okay, we did it. State the conclusion of the test, justify your answer. So remember how do we conclude it? How do we conclude? If the p-value is smaller than significance level, we always say reject H0. You should memorize this one, okay? Significance level. Okay, so is this the case? What is our p-value? 0.0778. Is it smaller than significance level? It's given here 10%, right? 0.10. So is it smaller? Yes. So reject H0. So we can write there is sufficient evidence to reject H0. With 10% significance level. Okay, significance level, that's the case. Okay, II. State what it means in words, right? So reject H0. We reject it, right? We rejected H0. What is H0? So H0 was this one, right? So their population mean is the same. We rejected it, right? So that therefore we can say this is true. I mean, so their population mean means of two groups are not the same. This is our conclusion. Question number 9 is about mathematical models. Cubic models, quadratics, sinusoidal models, right? About these ones. A graph below shows the average savings as $1,000 of a group of university graduates as a function T, number of years of graduating university. Okay. Write down one feature of this graph which suggests a cubic function might be appropriate model for this scenario. A cubic functions are always like that, guys. So we have a maximum and minimum values. Basically this is the idea, maximum and minimum values, because we have maximum amount of saving and minimum amount of saving, for example, right, after graduation. So you can, for example, you can save more money in university and less, right, something like that. So cubic functions have max and min points values. That's the good reason, because it can be like, it can decrease, increase, etc., right, saving. The equation of this model can be expressed by this one, which is a cubic model. A, B, C, and D are real constants. Okay, the graph of the model must pass through the following points. So these are the points here, right? Write down the value of d. Okay, d. Guys, how can I find d? What should I write to t to find d, right? So if I add 0 to the t, right? 0 plus 0 plus 0, and it's gonna give me the d, right? So which values I can use here? I can use 0, 5, right? I'm gonna use 0, 5 points. So instead of s, I'm writing 5. Let me write it here. Instead of s, I just write 5. Then here, t, instead of t, I'm writing 0, right? So 0 plus 0 plus 0, look at them, 0t, 0, 0 plus d, right? So plus d. So what is d? D equals to 5. That's it. Second question, write down the 3 simultaneous equations for A, B, C. So since I know, S is, this is minus 5, right? I made a mistake here. Minus 5 equals to this. I just substitute this point here, right? Minus 5. So d equals to minus 5 then, right? Minus 5. Write down 3 simultaneous equations. So we need to put these values to the function basically, right? So let's write it down. BII. Let's write it down. Let's put 1, 3 first, right? S is 3, T is 1. 3 equals to, if I put 1 here, right? If I put 1 here, what will happen? 1 cube is just 1, A plus B plus C. I put 1, 1, 1. Minus D is minus 5, right? This is our first equation. Let's rearrange it and send this minus 5 to here and make it 8, right? So minus 5, I send it here, the other side, make it 8. So this is the first equation. If you put 2.2 and minus 1, 2 minus 1, right? So S is minus 1 equals to, so now we're gonna put 2 to the t, right? 2 cube, which is 2 cube is 8, 8a plus 2 squared is 4, 4b plus 2, I put 2 here, 2c, and we have d at the end, which is minus 5. So I'm going to send this one here as a plus 5. Plus 5 minus 1 will be 4, right? So I'm just making here 4. 1 second. 4. This minus 5 is gone, right? Okay. Last point, we need to put 3 minus 5. If I put 3 to the a, t, 3 cubed, which is 27a, plus 3 squared b, 9b, three c, right, 3 here. So 3c is just 3c minus d, which is minus 5. So if I send minus 5 here, it's going to be plus 5, and they cancel each other. It's going to be 0, right? So 0 here. This is the 3 simultaneous equations that we can use. This is the II. Hence or otherwise, find the values of A, B, C. So we're going to use our calculator to find it. But in your calculator, guys, you can solve it by numerical solve, and so systems of linear equations. You can solve this by this one easily, but your calculator will be in the exam mode, test mode, And in the test mode, this is restricted. Okay. Therefore, you need to use another method to solve it. What method you can use? You can use matrix method, which is, let me explain to you. If you have a matrix, and x equals to b, let's say, and you want to find x, right? So you just need to multiply the inverse of this one. This, let's say, matrix. Okay, you don't know matrices, you don't see this topic, but just remember this one. If you multiply from the left side the inverse of this matrix, also from the left side, so they're gonna make it 1, they're gonna cancel each other, they're gonna make it 1 here, and this inverse matrix will be give you x. Okay, what is our matrix A here? Our matrix A is called coefficient matrix, which is the coefficient values of this one. Okay, and B is our resultant matrix. So if we find the coefficient matrix inverse and multiply it with the answer matrix, it's gonna give us x values, right? So let me write our coefficient matrix. So this, you can remember like that. The coefficient matrix inverse times result matrix, which is this one, 8 4, right? 8 4 0 4 0 will give you in order A, B, C values. Okay, but how we can write coefficient matrix? Let me write it here. The coefficients of A, B, C, 1 1 1, 8 4 2, 27 9 3, and inverse of it times multiplied by the result matrix, which is their results here, 8 4 0, and this is gonna give you A, B, C values. Let me show you how to do it by calculator, right? So go here, go to calculate, go to menu, matrix vector, and create this matrix. It's a 3 by 3 matrix, right? Okay, write down your values here, which is my 1 1 1 in my case, 1 1 1, 8 4 2. I'm just copying my resulting matrix, my coefficient matrix, A 4 2, 27 9 9 and 3, and we're gonna find the inverse of it. So you just need to do to the power of -1, then times resultant matrix, right? Resultant matrix, which is in our case menu, matrix vector, create matrix. We have number of rows, we have 3 rows and 1 column. Okay, and this is 8 4 8 4 0. And if we multiply them, we're gonna find our, this is A, this is B, this is C. Okay, so let me copy. A is -2, A equals to 2, B equals to -12, and C equals to 18. Okay, so these are our ABC values. Use a negative value S indicates that a graduate is expected to be depth. Okay, negative value as X shows the, it's like that a graduate is expected to be in depth. So If we have negative value like here, is in depth, right? Use the model to determine the total length of the time in years for which the graduate is expected to be depth after graduating from university. So they're asking, guys, which years they are in depth, right? They're asking these values because here also depth, right? Here also, from here to here is also depth, right? So we're gonna find these x values, right? How we can find it? We need to sketch the graph and find the points, right? By the way, we found ABC. What is our function? Our function is, okay, we found it. This is my previous solution. Let me clean them. Okay, I'm solving part C right now. Okay, A is 2, so y equals to 2t cube. I'm just replacing our values here, right? A is 2, B is minus 12 t squared plus 18t, and D is minus 5. I just put the values to our function. Okay. Then we can sketch the graph and find its intersection points. How do you do it? Go to graph menu. Instead of t, I'm gonna write x. Okay, I'm gonna write this function, but instead of t, I'm gonna write x. Okay, 2x cube. Okay, minus 12 t squared x squared plus x minus 5. So this is our function, right? So does it look like our original function? Yes. So we need to find these values, right? Which is the roots. How you can find it? Menu, analyze graph, and 0. Then click before it and click after it. So this x value is the first one, right? Second, let's find this root, second one. Menu, analyze graph, and 0. Click before it and after it. Menu, analyze graph, and 0. So we're gonna look at negative first. From 0, x equals to 0 to x equals to this one, this year, it's gonna be negative, right? From 1.8 to 3.81 is also depth. These years between depth, right? So how can I write? From 0 to 3, 0 point depth, and from 1.8 to, I'm just writing here, and from 1.8 comma in depth. That's how you find it. Okay. For in years, right? In years, which grade is the depth? Okay, so between these years in depth, right? That's the part. Okay. Question number 10. It's about probability distributions and its normal distribution. Fuji apples are normal distributed with a mean of this one and standard deviation of this. Okay, what we can do, guys, our mean is shown as this, which is 163 grams, and standard deviation is 6.83. When Fuji apples are picked, they are classified as small, medium, large, and extra large. Okay. Depending on their mass, large apples have mass between this and this. Okay. Determine the probability of Fuji apples selected at random will be large apple. Okay. How is our, let's sketch our normal distribution curve. Mean is in the middle. And standard deviation is here. 172 should be somewhere here. And 183 should be somewhere here. So we're gonna find the probability of this part, which is this area. Total area is 1, right? So we're gonna use normal distribution, right, with these values. So let's bring out our calculator. We need to go to menu, so calculate, menu, probability, distributions, and this is a range. We need to use normal distribution, right? That's the case. Normal distribution, normal CDF. Lower bound 172, upper bound 183. Mu is mean 163, and standard deviation is 6.83, right? And hit OK. So this area is 0.092. So this is the answer of our part A, first question. So this area, we found it by calculator, right? Part B. Approximately 68% Fuji apples have a mass within the medium-sized category, okay, which is between K and this one. K and 172 grams. Find the value of K. Okay, let's sketch our graph. So 163 is in the middle, right? Mean value. 172 is here. And we have another K value. I don't know where is it. Let's say here, somewhere here. It can be also somewhere here, but I'm just finding it randomly. And 86% of apples are here, medium-sized apples. So this area is 0.86, right? First of all, how we can find this K value? First of all, we need to find area smaller than 172. We need to find total area, and we need to subtract 68 to find this area, to find this, let's say, green area, right? Then we can do inverse normal. To find this K, we need to do inverse normal, right? So let's find the area first. Okay, let me clean my other stuff. So we need to go to normal distribution. This should be our upper bound. Lower bound is very small number, minus 1000, right? And every value is the same here. Okay, so let's do it by calculator. Okay, we need to go to menu, probability, distributions, normal CDF, lower bound minus infinity, or you can just write very small number. I'm gonna write minus 1000. Upper bound 172. Mean is 163. And standard deviation is 6.83. So 0.906, it's the area of this part, right? This part. So total area of this part, green and blue area, equals to 0.906, right? And 2 here. Okay. Then if I subtract this one from this, I can find this green area. So 0.96, 0.68 equals to 0.908 minus 0.68, 0.228, and this is this area. Okay, and so this area we found it, right? Then we need to do inverse normal. Area is this one, and we need to find, we can find k with this method, right? Okay, let me show you how to do it by calculator. Let me show you the values also. So squared, right? So it's gonna be 3 over x squared. 3 is the coefficient, right? 3, 1 over x squared, 3 over x squared. So this is our derivative function. We found it. Part B. L1 is tangent to the fx at this point, right? So derivative, always remember guys, derivative equals to gradient of the tangent on that point, on specific point. So if I put 1 to the f function, if I put 1 to the here, I'm gonna find -2, right? But if I substitute 1 to the derivative function, here, derivative function, I'm gonna find gradient of the tangent, which is here, so which is the gradient, right? So that's why they ask to find gradient. So what I need to do, I just need to substitute 1 to the derivative function, because imagine we have a function like that, right? We have a point here, 1, right? And there is a line here, and if I put 1 f prime 1, for example, equals to gradient. f1 equals to y value, right? But f prime 1 equals to gradient. So I'm gonna put 1 to the derivative function here, substitute. So this is our function, f prime x equals to 2x plus 3 over x squared, f prime 1, 2 plus 3 over 1 equals to 5, right? So the gradient is 5. Question number C, determine number of lines parallel to L. Parallel to L means they have the same gradient. What is the gradient of L? We just found 5, right? So how many, so this derivative function equals to 5, and we're gonna find x values. How many x we have that is derivative equals to 5, okay? So 2x plus part C, 2x plus 3 over x squared equals to 5. To find this one, I'm gonna sketch the graph, but I need to send this one to the other side and sketch the graph. And I'm gonna find the intersection point, which is the roots of that function, right? So 2x plus 3 over x squared minus 5 equals to, let's say, 0. Let's sketch this function and find the roots of it, right? So what we need to do, go to our calculator. So go to graph. 2x plus 3 over x squared, control division, x squared, then minus 5. And these are the roots of it, right? So let's find the roots. Menu, analyze graph, and 0, right? So click before, click after. So this is x value is one root, right? Menu, analyze graph, 0. It should be 1 because we already found 1, right? We substitute 1 and we found it. Okay, menu, analyze graph, and 0. So and 2.186. So this is, so we have, this is our point, this one is our point, and these two are other points that are equals to 0. So what the question asks us, let's go back to here. Question asks, determine number of lines parallel to L, justify your answers. So 2 lines are parallel to L. How we can we can just copy the graph on the calculator, and this function is fx, right? And we can show this roots. This is, let me see it from the 0 minus 0.67. This is 1. This is 2.186. So 3 significant figures, 1, 2.19. Okay, you can show it like that. fx and equals to 2x plus 3 over x squared minus 5. So we have 2 lines parallel to L. This is our L, and these are the parallel lines.